Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, we're going to be talking about transit Uranus Sextile or Trine one's natal Mercury. Now, this transit may manifest in goals, aspirations, friendships, someone's future, freedom and independence, being in harmony with communication, learning, and assimilating information. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What this transit can be auspicious for really is being able to communicate really what your goals and aspirations are, being able to articulate them, and being able to, if you want to write them down, this could be a good time to do it and write them in a very, being able to express it very clearly in a very lucid, perspicacious manner. It could be a time where your friendships, it's a time for good communication with those people, people that are prominent in groups and clubs and organizations. And I think I would say too, actually, and I just think I really believe that this is like a very excellent opportunity to formulate even ingenious ideas. If you're like an innovator or inventor, especially if you're in that field, when you're creating new technology, this could be an excellent transit for this. It can also be a time where, it's about really learning. It could be about Uranus-related things, whether it's astrology or astronomy or computers or electronics, meteorology. Those things at this time can be something that you might be more, more, as far as feel like learning, or it's something that might interest you a little bit more so, at least than usual. You may be more open to different, thoughts, different ways of thinking, newer, maybe new ways of doing things, even though it might be, unorthodox or have you. It's a time also too where it's very good for assimilating information that's pertaining to things that are Uranus related, like I described before. This could be a time, as well, where your future, if you're somebody that's, trying to, you're aspiring to be, somebody, in the communication field, whether it could be, writing, journalism, data, or satellite communications. As some examples, this could be the time where it could be very auspicious for that, because your Uranus is about your future, Mercury is associated with communications, and this is a time as well if you're trying to acquire, you know, attain some kind of freedom or independence. It could be through siblings, cousins, or neighbors. If you need that time, to do things on your own independently, this could be an auspicious time for that. It could also be a time where you could express, more like a friendship with those people I just described, siblings, cousins, or neighbors, or maybe even exchanging, could be new innovative thoughts and ideas at this time as well with them. It could be a good, propitious time for your future with those people as well. And it's really, it's a time too where your goals and aspirations, it might be tied in, to cousins, neighbors, or siblings. It's for because you're talking about the transit of Uranus forming a good relationship by aspect to the natal Mercury, and it could be one where a positive future could be in the works with these people. If there was something that was going on, that was somewhat contentious with those people, this is a time where it could be more positive because Uranus is forward moving, it's about the future, and it's making the positive aspect to Mercury again, which is connected with neighbors, cousins, and siblings. Now, this could also be, time to, like, I want to say that Mercury, anatomically speaking, is associated with the hands, the arms, the nerves, breathing, lungs, and the thing about this is, if it could be a positive time for moving forward with these matters, your future in those matters, going. if you've been procrastinating or hesitating on any of those issues I described that are anatomically connected with Mercury, if you do have any of those issues, this could be that a really auspicious time for moving forward in those matters and doing something about them. And it could be, if you've had any of those issues, like something with the arms or the hands or nerves that have held you back from things before, it might be a positive time where it won't be holding you back, at least not much longer. And it doesn't mean everything's, it's all going to go away, you have this transit, but at the same time, it could be where, like, for example, you might be able to make, some improvement in those areas where you're able to work through them better. Like, say, if you're just trying to, drive and, something with short journeys, um, you got problems with the hands or the nerves. This could be, the arms. It could be a time where you may be able to move forward and work with those issues better. It's also something to keep in mind. Uranus is about innovation, and it might be a positive time for something using new technology to deal with those issues. If there's, a more advanced, say, a nerve conduction test as an example, it could be a positive time for doing something about it through that use of that the advanced technology. And the thing about this transit too is that this could be a positive time as far as your local transportation goes, your short journeys, about moving forward. With that, it could be getting maybe a car that uses some advanced technology to do that. It can be, a time as well. I mean, keep in mind that Mercury is connected with your early education. It might be, people prominent in that time period. Transit of Uranus could be an auspicious time for the future with those people. If you have, like, say with me, I have my natal Mercury in the zodiac sign Cancer. It could actually be Cancerian sun, moon, or ascendant people, or ones that simply embody those characteristics. I had a number of Cancerian, friends from that time during the time I was in my early education. And the thing about this too is it could also be, a time as well where it's really a time where, Uranus being about, one's freedom as well. It's a time where it may be, you have that freedom to take those short journeys. If something's been inhibiting you before, it sounds like, what would inhibit somebody from taking a short trip? Well, you'd be surprised. And I don't mean just, it doesn't necessarily mean, a trip to the store. It could be just going, it could be going to a different, if you're in the United States, traversing to a different state as an example. And another thing about this transit as well is that this is a good time, I would say, for the future in rational thinking as well. And again, it could be about the communication of innovative ideas. If you have, like, say, your Mercury in Virgo, could be something innovative, health related. Maybe you formulate something that's associated with something health related. An idea, an innovative idea associated with that. As an example, so Mercury is in Aquarius. It could be something. Maybe there's some innovative thinking connected. And Mercury in Aquarius could have innovative thinking to begin with, but it may be something as well when you have this transit of Uranus making sextile or trine to that natal Mercury in Aquarius as an example. It may manifest in having maybe innovative thinking in something connected with computers or electronics or astrology or astronomy as some examples. And anyway. Well, another way this transit could manifest, it could be about where friendships, which is Uranus, could be very beneficial to you learning and assimilating information, which is Mercury. Now, let's say, for example, if Mercury going up to Aquarius again as an example, it could be learning astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology as some examples. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now also too, this transit may be expressed in the goals and aspirations, which is Uranus, that you're able to articulate, which is Mercury. Let's say, for example, if that transit Uranus is in Taurus in the fourth house, it could be money. Maybe those goals and aspirations are associated with money, which is Taurus, in real estate, and the home, which is the fourth house. Also, two clubs, which is Uranus, could be more in harmony and agreement with the ideas, which is Mercury, that you have. Let's say, for example, the natal Mercury is in Capricorn. It could be ideas associated with business, politics, carpentry, as some examples. And it also could be a propitious time for freedom, which is Uranus, just to go on those short journeys. Like I described before, it could just be, if you're in the United States, it could be going to a different state and it's something you planned on but haven't been able to embark on it. Now, let's say if the natal Mercury is in Pisces, it could be very convoluted short journeys, or it might be one which may involve some sacrificing, or it could be for somebody that's less fortunate than yourself, such as could be somebody that's in an impoverished state or facing oppression, or homeless or hungry, as some examples. And also too, this could be very positive for the future, which is Uranus, with neighbors, siblings, and cousins, which is Mercury. If the natal Mercury is in Aries, as an example, it could be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody those traits. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.